way you take it to the breakdown. Feels so good, can't be bad. It's the best I've ever had. Shake my tree, catch the fruit. This party's an absolute, yeah. Get up on your feet, yeah. Get up, time to me. Jump up from your seat. You're gonna feel it the way you take it to the breakdown. Get up on your feet, yeah. Get up, time to me. Jump up from your seat. You gotta feel it the way you take it to the breakdown. Yeah. Oh, feels so right, can't be wrong. Whole lot of love in just one
Good evening and welcome to IITW Radio. Hello, Jessica. Man, Jessica jumped right in there, didn't she? Okay, it is the first day of February. Holy crap, the year's already smoking by. And we're going to have some Valentine's. I'm going to mention it here in a little bit, but we're going to have a couple of Valentine's contests for you guys, which will include dinner for two. You know what? Jessica was the first one to join on tonight. Why don't we give Jessica a T-shirt? Jessica, you want a T-shirt? Type in yes.
It's going to take a second.
Okay. I'm going to let you take your pick, Jessica, since you're the first one on the show tonight. I'm going to give you a pink one. I guess this is pink. Or is this sherbet? Sherbet color. This is from River City Veterinarians and Resort. Right? Animal Hospital and Resort.
River City Veterinary Hospital and Pet Resort.
Yeah, that's a cool place to go. And since, let's see, what do we got going on tonight? We're going to talk about Fort Gates, the explosions, rebuilding Florida, and the road department. So this should be pretty interesting. Where do we want to start with? Our shout-outs? Okay, we'll give the shout-outs. I'll give one to Jolie and Jessica and, let's see, Mama B. I'll give one to Annette, Audrey, of course, my sidekick, Tammy. Crystal, I know she's listening tonight. If not, text her and tell her to get her butt on here and watch. And Ben and Lee and Cindy Shaw out there. If you guys got somebody you want me to give a shout-out to, let me know. Now, right before Valentine's Day, I'm going to let you guys come on here and you can write your significant other a letter. And if you don't, or a note on here, if you don't have a significant other, you can put, hey, I'm desperately seeking Susan. Okay. Let's see. The explosions last night that were happening. We contacted all the military bases. They told us nothing was going on. I don't know if you guys and gals heard them last night, but it shook so bad that it rattled my house. And it rattled. It looked like somebody was actually shaking my truck outside. At first, I thought it was an earthquake. We contacted all the Army bases, the Navy bases. We contacted everybody. Nobody could figure out what was going on. Oh, Austin's listening. How you doing, Austin? Yeah, I can't wait to see you again. By the way, Daytona called me, but I didn't get back with them today because I was at the doctor's office. So I've got to call them on Monday and see what they say, Austin. Austin's one of our artists on here. That guy is kick. But if you guys haven't seen him, Austin, put on there when you're going to be back down there in this area again so we can get people over to see you. Okay. Andrea, tomorrow's her son Jalen's birthday. I know Jalen. Happy birthday, Jalen. How old is it going to be? What is he, about 13 now?
14.
14? Holy crap, that kid's getting big. I remember when he was just this big. Anyways, with the explosions last night, we contacted all the military bases. And I mean, it was loud. It was rumbling. But we were getting reports. Now, the Navy and all the Air Force and everybody, nobody said they had anything going on. Later on, they put up that they were doing maneuvers, but then they said they had nothing going on. So, but the blast was felt all the way from DeLand. We had reports coming in from DeLand, Palm Coast, all the way up to Stark, Florida, which is about a 4-hour drive if you measure it. But I went over to my friend Ben's house, and it had cracked their ceiling from one end of the house to the next, to the other end. It also split the drywall in the corner of his son's bedroom. Hello, Jackie. Jackie, I'll be up there tomorrow filming a commercial. Let me know if it's all right to come up there tomorrow. We're going to be doing an invasion with Cletus tomorrow. But it split it separated the drywall in his son's bedroom, and they just got through remodeling in their house. Also, it dropped the crown molding that's on the top of their ceiling. It popped it off the walls and stuff. So those were some loud booms. I mean, real loud. It was loud enough to, like I say, it shook the whole my truck. It looked like two people were standing on the back side of it, pushing it like that. So if you guys got any damage now, you can contact. Do we have anyways, I'll put it up, or we'll get it up there tomorrow for you guys. But you can contact them if you did get damage on your house. You can contact them, and they are responsible for the damages that were done to your house. And today they were going off again, from what I understand. I don't know. I was up at my doctor's office, and then I had to go get. If you guys notice, my foo-foo is missing. It got whacked off today.
Miss Barbie did a nice job.
Yeah, Barbie kicked some butt. She had me in and out of there in like 10 minutes, too. I don't know what that means. My hair's falling out, I guess. No, there was a big patch on the back. But the explosions, if you did get damaged, you can contact the military. They'll give you some forms to fill out, and they are responsible for taking care of that. And we have, there's a couple of things. If they said they didn't do it, but there was F-18s later on when I called at night. Hello, Barbie. Thanks for doing my hair today. You did a kick-butt job on it. And Barbie's going to be giving away a contest for Valentine's Day, so you ladies can get your hair pinstriped, or not pinstriped. You get it cut. I guess she's going to do a cut and curl or whatever it is she does. She makes it look good. There's her ad right there. You will have to call Barbie for an appointment. This lady does the best hair cutting around. I mean, my friend Lee went in there, and what did she do? What did they call it? Highlighted her hair and did all that stuff, and it looked kick butt. She does the best hair around. But if you guys, gals, she has a place over in St. Augustine, and I didn't bring the card in with me, did I?
No.
Barbie, type your address on there where people can find you at. I know one is in Palaca, right across from the pizza place, and then one is in St. Augustine. And it turns out okay, Jessica said nice. It turns out that she's got her own place over there now, so you guys and gals can go there. Back to the explosions. We have that thing, Chris, that we can put up. There's a couple different reasons that this would happen. We do have earthquakes in Florida. Not saying that was an earthquake last night, but there's also a thing called, what was the name of that thing I was looking up last night?
Polar vortex. They have the ducting, and they are also
yeah, it was the ducting.
This is what he's got up there. It's right in front of you.
Okay. We got a video on it, and they'll explain some of it.
Hold on.
Let's see. We're going to put it up. Anyways, apparently when a cold front will come through, sometimes it'll make a sonic boom.
And get the forecast information all right there. Now, a lot of folks talking today about the big boom that everyone was hearing, and everyone's like, oh, was there an earthquake? Well, we had no earthquakes anywhere near the Panhandle. Closest one you could find was back up into Kansas, not far away from Wichita, and much too weak to ever be felt here. What I do think it was atmospheric ducting. It could have been from a sonic boom from a jet, could have been from an explosion, say from maybe over Eglin Air Force Base. I don't know what they were up to today, but if they perhaps were exploding something, what would happen is it gets trapped below this layer of warm air. So normally it gets colder the higher up you go. Well, today it actually got warmer the higher up you went, and that can trap loud sounds beneath that, make it travel in a much longer direction and for a much longer duration. And when you look at the atmospheric sounding from earlier today, you can see it gets colder and then it gets warmer right there. So a few thousand feet below that is where, if that sound originated, it would literally kind of get trapped there and travel for a long distance. I posted information about this on my Twitter and my Facebook page, so you can go there to learn more. That's my best guesstimate. Here's what's going on right now, Panama City.
Okay, that's been happening. We were getting reports from Texas, from Montana, all over the place. And according to the meteorologist I talked to today, that's what's happened when this front and stuff and the cold air comes through. So it is possible that the explosions that were happening in Ocala last night could have been felt all the way down in DeLand, Palm Coast, all the way up to Stark. And then they said, well, oh, my buddy Kerry just joined in. Kerry Davis. He's my old high school buddy, my old stomping buddy. I'll get into some stories about him and I next on Monday night. But the sound could have traveled from the meteorologist that I talked to today. It could have traveled 200 or 300 miles, so which is amazing. Or they said it could have been a meteor skipping off the atmosphere. That could have been. So we still don't know what it was. But which Air Force base was it, or naval base?
It was actually NAS Jax, but they said it was Camp Blanding. They have training going on at Camp Blanding. Okay,
they have planes going out of Camp Blanding. Mm-hmm. So there was 2 F-18 Hornets, I believe, that they said.
It happened at 6 o'clock yesterday was the worst of it, and then from 6 to 6:23, and then the next one happened around 9 o'clock last night. But most of the damage that was sustained to a lot of the area homes was around the 6 o'clock one.
Yep. So if you guys and gals got to that, like I say, if there's any damage, we will get that up on the Putman Way tomorrow sometime, and then you can read about it, and then you can contact them where to send your bills to for it. Okay. The road departments. I talked to Miss Carla. I finally got a call when we were on the air the other night. Miss Carla told me to call her the next day. I did call her. And apparently, I don't know, somebody over on this side of the town or the supervisor dropped the ball or something, whatever happened. But she was explaining to me, for you guys and gals, on what these different class of roads are. Now, we took a picture of, what was the video that I did, that street? Ivanhoe?
Ivanhoe, that we needed to correct that. We had said it was Kingston, and the sign was removed or moved, and it is actually Ivanhoe, but it is off from Kingston.
Okay.
Make that correction.
This place, in 1978, I believe, up until 1978, there was a bridge there. For some reason, the bridge is gone now, and it's paved underneath there, but the road is underwater. Now, I did talk to one of my friends over at the Highway Patrol, and I talked to Road Department. Road Department, I guess, was going to shut the road down, but because that's the only way to detour people, and we have a lot of wrecks on Highway 17, and that's the only way to detour it around, you guys and gals are just going to have to live with it. Barbie said, hey, guys, I'm available in Palaca on Fridays and Saturdays at Kelly's Hair Salon, 916 St. John's Avenue, all the other days in St. Augustine at Salon Lofts, in Cobblestone Shopping Center off of 312, 440 CBL, Suite 103, Loft 4. So if you ladies need to get your hair cut, I suggest doing it, especially, you guys too. It's hard to find a place that knows how to cut men's hair. I mean, it's easy to get it shaved on the sides and leave that little foo-foo on the top, or the mohawk. But she does a great job on it. I'm not going to take my hat off because I'd have to redo my headphones. This is the back. Hope that was good enough. I can't see it. Anyhow, back to the roads. There are 4 classes of roads in Putnam County. So you guys and gals need to listen to this real good, because a Class 1 road there's approximately 500 miles of paved roads, and this came from Carla over at the Road Department. Class 1 road, there's 500 miles of paved roads and 291 miles of unpaved roads that are maintained by the county. Now, a Class 1 is a paved road, from what I understand. Now, the Class 2 roads is there's approximately 250 miles of unpaved, publicly owned roads within the county that are not maintained on a regular scheduled basis, or approximately 250 miles unpaved owned roads that are maintained by MSBUs. The Class 3, there are approximately 217 miles of private roads within the county that are not maintained by the county at all. And on a Class 4, there are approximately 283 miles of roads within Putnam County for which the ownership has not been determined. Now, if you have a Class 2 road, is that my phone? Get them on the air, we'll make fun of them. On a Class 2 road, and on some of these roads, if you have problems and you call them up, you need to call Carla up or email Carla and ask for her when you call up. She seems to be the one that's to get in touch with, and she will make sure somebody gets out there. Now, some of these roads are only maintained every 6 weeks. Some of them are only maintained every 6 months. Depends on what you live on. Now, if you go and you buy a house, make sure in Putnam County that you know if it's a paved road or a county-owned road or a private-owned road. Now, if you have 4 or 5 people on your road, you can actually go in there and you'll go to a county meeting and you can say, okay, we want to pay extra on our taxes, and they will come in there and pave it. But it's probably going to cost you out the yin-yang. So my best recommendation, but Miss Carla was very nice and spent about an hour on the phone with her going over the different class of roads and stuff. We will put these up on the Putman Way. Jessica said her son's teacher said her roads are barely passable. Yeah, Jessica, you need to get a hold of Carla over road department. Can you put the number up there?
It's already up.
Oh, it's already up. Okay, look in the comments. You'll see it's Public Works. For more information about your road, contact Miss Carla at her voice phone, which is 386-329-0346, or fax them over something, or email them something. That way they will have a chance to get it. Okay. But the road now that's over there on Ivanhoe, when you people go through there, you're going to have to make sure there's no barricades up. There's no barricades. Stay in the middle of the water. Because if you go off to the side, and I went over there today and checked it, it is deep. You will drown, or your car will disappear off the side. So be careful on that. I hope they get over there and put some rails up or something, but they're not going to, from what I've heard from FHP, they're not going to be able to shut that road down. So just be careful going through there. That's all I can tell you. Hopefully they'll put another bridge back up there. Oh, you're welcome, Jessica. I guess I could go over these roads right here, but this is kind of boring. If you have a problem, call them up. They get the number there, and if you call them up enough, they'll come out. But Miss Carla's a sweetheart.
They
She
may not
will.
answer your call, or return your call, but they will.
Well, that's some of the supervisors.
Yeah, Miss Carla, I bless her heart. I appreciate everything she did. She was very nice, very informative. She sent over the information for us, but she said that she has no control over the supervisors calling. So.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Be
she
nice
doesn't.
to her, guys.
But if you get a hold of her, she'll tear somebody up to get them on there. Hey, hello, Miss Debbie. How are you doing? Okay, what did I do with my other notes now? Let's see. They're on the back of here. We already talked about the sonic booms last night. Miss Debbie says she even felt them over at her house. Let's see. This Rebuild Florida thing. I need to talk about this for a minute. This Rebuild Florida thing, you guys and gals need to get the word out on this thing. If you had damage from Hurricane Irma and your house got messed up, if it's still leaking water, if you did not get anything from FEMA, they will help you out. If your house is over 5 years old, I've got a phone conference, I guess, Monday. Miss Helen is trying to get me the number up to Tallahassee. There's been a bunch of concerns, and she's going to be in here on Monday night. You guys need to check out the show on Monday night. There is a chance if your house is over 5 years old and you took on so much damage that they will come in and take your mobile home out and replace it. Now, this is a program that I believe the state and the federal government has done, and they have the grants for this stuff. If your house is damaged, if it's brick and mortar, they will help you out and get it fixed back up. Now, we have a lot of people asking about and concerned if you're elderly. They are not going to come. What does it say? Jolie says she's been telling everybody about it. Thank you. If you're elderly, they are not going to come in and take you and put you in a convalescent home. They're not going to throw you out of your house. There was one lady up in, I believe, Interlaken, and her house was still damaged, and the code enforcement came out, and she told them that she was working with Miss Helen, and so they gave her an extension so that they can actually give her enough time to get into this program to get the stuff done. Don't worry about the county code enforcement. Don't worry that these people are going to come in and put your butt in a convalescent home if you're elderly or kick you out. They cannot do that, and they're not going to do that. That's not what they're trying to do here. Another big concern that we have is people with children. If you have children, they are not going to come in and take your kids away from you. DCF is not going to be contacted. They have given me their word on this. So I hope to God that you people quit being afraid that they're going to come in and take your children. Their thing is to come in and get your house back up. They understand that since the hurricanes, that there's been damage. They understand that there's mold and stuff. They are trying to help take care of this. This program is only going to last till the 29th of March. If you are not signed up by then, you will not get in on this. Now, I don't know why anybody wouldn't sign up. If you have damage, because if you can get your mobile home replaced with a brand new one and it's not going to cost you anything, let's see. Jessica said I applied, got a number of some sorts. Rebuild Florida, the steps to repair, rebuild. Let's see. Go back up. There you go. They put up on the Putnam Way, Rebuild Florida, the steps to repair, rebuild, or replace your home. There it is. It's rebuildflorida.gov.
Also, we would talk to Miss Helen that if you have sent your email in and you haven't heard anything in a couple of days, to go ahead and call the number. It's easier, just go ahead and call the number. It takes about 5 minutes to get all the information filled out, and then they will ask you how you prefer to have the application sent to you by email or mail or et cetera. So make sure you guys, if you haven't gotten your confirmation email back from them after you've sent in the initial, your name and email, that you just go ahead and call the number above.
If you have questions also, Jessica said, I guess I'm waiting for an application. I don't know, Jessica, did you get a call back after you filled out the thing, or did you get an email back? We'll wait for her to respond. A lot of people have been telling me they've been having problems when they go online to try to fill it out. Now, Putnam County is not on the list. If you look down the list when you go on Rebuild Florida, it is not on the list written down, but it is on the list. Putnam County was included in this. So if you have a home in Putnam County that you need repairs done on, they will either come in and repair it or replace the house, or Miss Helen will help you file because there's still FEMA money. Let's see, she said I called and then I was sent a confirmation number. Okay, now I hope you sent that over to Miss Helen so that she can work with you. We have a special email set up on the IITW radio for her. What's the email?
IITW radio rebuild at gmail.com. IITWRADIOREBUILD at gmail.com.
Okay.
And that email goes specifically to her. The radio station members do not get it. So it's, if you put any private information there, none of us do that.
Jessica said the same thing that I've been hearing like crazy from people, said the online did not work. Miss Helen's trying to find out what is going on with that. And Jolene said, when I called, they gave me a registration number and told me they would mail the application. That might be what you're going to have to do, Jessica, because everybody that I've talked to here in the last couple of days has been saying that the online thing is not working. Miss Helen had a meeting with them the other day, and they're trying to get it, figure out what's going on it. But also, if you have kids in your house or you don't have kids and you need smoke detectors, she's going to tell you guys and gals on Monday how that you can, well, my mic just went up loud. Oh, well. Maybe my headphones. They're going to tell you how you can get smoke detectors for free. If you're elderly, they have ones that vibrate your bed. I think I'm going to get one of those for myself. It saved me from having to put a quarter in the damn thing. But make sure you listen Monday night, because there are a lot of programs you can get on that's not going to cost you anything. She's got programs from food. Where's one of my cards at? You guys and gals will have to bear with me for a second here. I've got a ton of stuff on my desk. It's in the stack. I'm looking.
Travis, open that up. It's right there in your hand.
Right
Black.
here?
Open the black tablet.
Oh, okay. Right here. right here. She has these right here, and they have all the numbers on them. There's the Heart of Putnam County Food Pantry, Lee Conley House, the Placa Christian Service Center provides critical support, inspiration guides, individual families. There's places that'll help you pay your.
If you look on the screen, you'll see them. You can always go back, pause the screen, write down the information.
Yeah, go back and pause it and write down the information. If you need it, we'll send it to you. But there's places that'll help you pay your electric bill if you fall behind. They'll only do it one time, is to bail out. But there's food banks, there's Catholic charities, there's the Boy Scouts of America, there's the Red Cross, all kinds of stuff and all kinds of programs in Putnam County that I didn't even know existed. St. Paul or St. Vincent de Paul Society, I knew about them. They provide emergency shelter and financial assistance for utilities, rent, mortgage, clothing, furniture, household items to those that need it in West Putnam. And a home visit may be required. So they might have to come out and they want to check your refrigerator and stuff or your cabinets or see if you're actually in need or if you're trying to fake them out. Now, if you don't need this crap, one thing that pisses me off more than anything is when I show up at a place. We had a lady call up and she said, "Oh, I've got 5 children. I need my washer and dryer's broke down. My refrigerator doesn't work right. My stove doesn't work right." We found this lady a stove. I'm damn near tempted to put her name out on the air. Found her a stove, a washer, a dryer, and a refrigerator. The next day, I got to watch my potty mouth. This bitch had them on Swip Swap, selling them. Turns out she's a drug addict. She was selling the crap for crack. If I catch you doing that, and you need help from us, and we help you out, and I catch you doing that, I'm going to smear your name. I'm going to call the sheriff's department. I'm going to find out who your drug dealer is, and I'm going to have your ass arrested with them. So don't play games with me. Don't play games with this organization when we're trying to help people out. Don't screw with me like that. There's other people that need this stuff. If you need food and we help you out, or these other organizations do it, but don't take the stuff and sell it for drugs. Go peddle your body. Even if you can only get 50 cents, you need to get off the drugs anyways. Okay, Jessica says she's got her kids. She's got to get out of here. Okay, that's just one of the things that's pissing me off. But this is a great program. Now, I had a guy call in, and he asked me, he said he had been, apparently the sheriff's department years ago had a thing where they set up a sting operation to try it and get people who have warrants to come in and fill out for things. And this is not what this is. You're not going to show up and you're not going to fill out forms, and they're going to come and arrest you for a warrant for not paying your child support. If there's really damage to your house, I can't stress it enough. If you need a new house or you need repairs done to it from damage from Irma, you need to contact Miss Helen and get this thing taken care of. Because once it's gone, it is gone. After the 29th, it's already in an extension now from December. Once it's gone, it's gone. And it doesn't matter how poor you are or how much money you make. If you need the help getting it done, they are there to help you. Okay, what do we got in some crazy news? Oh, the weather. It's cold as all get out. It's nice now.
Than the weather.
This is how the polar vortex creates record sub-zero temperatures in the Midwest. Basically, the temperatures are coming down. They're dropping below freezing for some portions of the Midwest, and they're experiencing temperatures below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, some of them, there's negative 75 degrees with the wind chill factors. It is cold to all of our people up north. To Jack up in Canada, I don't know how you guys and gals do it. Do we have a video on this or no?
Just a photo. They're just talking
Okay,
about
just the
vortex.
photos. Okay. Anyways, this Arctic blast that's coming down, it is freezing out in the north now. Now their temperatures are starting to pick back up. Chicago was all excited today because they were 2 degrees. If it gets 2 degrees down here, I am moving south. Who was it that sent me today and told me to put it up on the thing tonight and I told them I would say it. I can't remember who it was. Anyways, they said that for all you that don't like Trump, he's cured global warming in 2 years. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, the prediction on this thing is Midwest states will experience extreme temperatures until later this week, and caution against stepping outside with an exposed skin. In these records, shattering temperatures, frostbite can occur in only a few minutes. Today, I saw that they found a FedEx guy frozen to death outside of the facility there, right near his truck. Apparently, he didn't make it from his truck inside, and I don't know what happened to him, but apparently he got frozen to death. And from what I understand, there's been about 20 people now that they've found so far that are dead. Hello, Melba. Let's see. What is this?
Same article. It's just more of it.
Okay. Is Doomsday's weather patterns blamed for these frigid conditions? Polars. Okay. The term refers to swirling masses of Arctic air that hovers around the North Pole all year. It swirls and spins counterclockwise during the winter months. The northern hemisphere, these oddities grow larger and dip further south. Okay. Anyways, well, we don't need to hear any more about that. We'll just take that down. It's going to get warm this next week. We're supposed to get back up to 78. And it's going to rain tomorrow. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. So you guys and gals don't want to miss that. What do we got in other news? This has heard a big boom.
Never mind.
That's not the one I'm putting up.
Hold on. So you can find it out. Because
I had doctor's appointments today, so we were running kind of behind. Instead of snacks, a vending machine at the elementary school is filled with books. What the crap? Oh, that would piss me off. Instead of snacks, this comes from out of CNN, but instead of snacks, a vending machine is filled with books. Oh, my God. Is this another Michelle Obama, how to keep the kids healthy? This vending machine isn't dispensing sugary treats, fatty chips, or high-calorie sodas. It's dropping knowledge. Elementary school in Umatilla, Florida, unveiled the machines this week as part of the state's Literacy Week. They held a prep rally for the event, singing and dancing. Oh, you gotta be kidding me! I want my Slim Jims in C4. Oh man, the kids were so excited they were trying to buy books out of it before we even unveiled it, said Umatilla Elementary School Principal Mr. Dreyer. When the students are kind, get their homework done, or simply make good choices, they are rewarded with a bulldog buck. Then they go to the school media specialist, Susan Gadwell, who oversees the library books fair, and the new vending machines. She takes their bucks and gives them coins to use in the machine to select their books of choice. Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. I don't know. What do you guys think?
reading's always good.
Yeah, reading's good, but what about the food?
They know
Couldn't
there's
he-
probably other vending machines, and besides, it's an elementary school. Do they need to be eating Slim Jim?
Oh, yeah, kids need to be eating Slim Jims. Hell, yeah. Slim Jims, Takis, M&Ms. I mean, all kinds of stuff. What else we got? No vending machines in Putnam County, though, please. Why electric cars struggle in cold weather, help them. Who's this, Wired? Let's get this one. Now, here's a site for people. How would you like to live in this? Well, we do have listeners that are up north. Can you imagine in Florida walking out and seeing that? I would go.
If I saw it out my window, I wouldn't be walking out in Florida.
I wouldn't
I'd
either.
be building myself a nice little fireplace, getting a book, or watching TV, and letting the sun do the rest of the work.
Who was that by?
I shoveled snow for way too many years.
Uh,
Miss Jolie said that her 2-year-old grandson will fight you about his Slim Jims now.
See,
I'm
he
with
needs
him. I
Slim
love
Jims.
Slim Jims.
He needs Slim Jims. 7-year-old kids need Slim Jims. My
Melba,
2-year-old
I agree
grandson
with
will
Melba.
fight
She
you.
says it's good for families who can't afford books to read also. So
Yeah, that's true.
it's a good idea.
If you guys and gals
I
need
remember
some books for
bookmobiles.
kids, I have a barn full.
Yes.
Boxes and boxes of books. I will gladly give your children some books. They do need to learn how to read. This stuff that goes on the computers anymore, and grown people writing this and dat, DAT. Learn the King's English. Teach your kids, and they might not use it later on. I remember I'd seen Jesse Jackson on an interview years ago, and he said, I've got my problems with Jesse Jackson and quite a few other people, but he said something that it was really profound. He said, you know, kids need to learn the King's English and quit speaking Ebonics, you know, before quit teaching Ebonics, and learn the King's English. He goes, when I go to my mama's house, he goes, I know the word sandwich, but when I go to my mama's house, I ask my mama, can you fix me a sandwich? Even though he knows the word sandwich, he still uses sandwich. But learn the King's English. Teach your children the King's English. Teach them proper English so that later on when they have to go get a job, they won't be going, yo, my brother, hey, what do they call him? Dude. You walk into a meeting with me and ask me for a job and you say, hey, dude, you're out the door. Especially if you walk in, and teach them to freaking pull up their damn pants. Nothing's more aggravating than a guy that goes in for a professional job interview. I guarantee you 90% of the businesses out there where you're going to make some decent money, if you walk in with your pants hanging halfway down your ass, they are not going to hire you.
Or sandals and flip-flops and, jogging pants. Those are also the ones I see. People come in there dressing like a bomb. When I was always taught you dress for success. I don't care if you're going in for an interview for washing dishes just to pick up the application. When you pick up that application, they've already decided whether they're even going to think about calling you back 90% of the time because they go by the staff that is there. Then they're going to look at your appearance. I got hired one time because the job I went to, even though it was for floors, I called them every day, and they said, if you want a job that bad, for 2 weeks I called them every day and said, hey, you got us opening. They said, if you want a job that bad, we'll make a spot for you. It wasn't something I wanted. I didn't know anything about flooring, but I did it. But I went in there and I was persistent. The other one I got because I dressed for success. I said it didn't matter the job, but I dressed properly. And that's what kids today just don't do. They don't have any respect for themselves, and they just don't go out in public like that. I mean, we were taught you keep your pants pulled up, your shirt's tucked in, your hair done. So. Well,
some of these kids that are out there screaming about, and these people are screaming, I want $18 an hour for flipping hamburgers. Those are starter jobs. Mm-hmm. Those are what gets you prepared to go out in society. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you what Wendy's did. I was up at the doctor's office up in Jacksonville the other day. Well, actually, it's North St. Augustine, right on the line. Mm-hmm. What's the name of that road I get off on? Gulf?
LPGA Boulevard.
LPGA Boulevard. They got a new Wendy's up there. I went to go in and get something to eat. And my cardiologist is listening, turned the radio down because, I went in there to get a hamburger. I walked in, and there's these screens. There's nobody in there. There's no counter up front. Nothing. You walk in there, you push the screen on what you want, you slide your credit card or your cash in. You younger people who have been bitching and raising hell about wanting $19 and $20 an hour, this is what these big corporations are going to do to you. Mm-hmm. They're going to say, piss on it. We don't need you. We'll have 4 people in the back frying hamburgers. We'll pay them decent, but you know what? The other 15 or 20 people that they would have had hiring there, now they're using computers and push screens. There's also one like that in Gainesville.
Yeah, it's, you pay $20,000 basically for a minimum wage job. So if that company is going to put $20,000 into one employee and they're going to have 10 or 12 people to register, and all they need is 4 machines at $20,000, that's paid off.
Yeah, Doug put a good comment up. He said, if you don't respect yourself, how can I expect you to respect me? And Melba wrote in, teach them to write in cursive. Hell yes. Teach your kids how to write in cursive. She said, I was so embarrassed when I took my son to get his driver's license and he didn't know how to sign his name. My children went through the same crap. I taught my kids cursive writing, even though when the schools didn't. Mm-hmm. I took my kids and taught them. You know why? Because when they sign for a house, one signature says sign here and the other one says print your name, not print and print. Teach your kids how to frickin' do. In the schools, they should be ashamed of themselves. What this country has come to with taking that out, and that now we're taking God out of Congress. Did you see that the other day? Out of the oath thing. Yes. What was it? So help me.
God we trust.
Yeah, and no, when they're
No, it was
have
So
to be
Help Me God.
sworn
I'm
in.
sorry. It was So Help Me God. They want to take out So Help Me God.
And this other crap too. While I'm thinking about it, this isn't even on my papers. But let me tell you
That's
something.
because 99% of the politicians are lying and they don't want to stand under oath. Is what it is.
I-
Guilty conscience.
You know, this isn't our Tuesday night political show, but I am going to tell you one thing right now. If you think it's okay to kill a baby when it comes outside the womb, you're wrong. And this crap, this Virginia and up in Cuomo up in New York, and then lighting the Twin Towers up pink, because they say now, and it was on TV yesterday, it was on all the news sources, where these people on the left and even some on the right say that it's okay and it's a woman's decision because it's her body. When a kid comes out, hey Desiree, when a kid comes out, they will resuscitate it and make it comfortable. But if the mother doesn't want the child, then they'll go ahead and inject the brain or they'll inject the lungs, and that child will end its life right there.
Now, how
That is
not
some
murder?
bull crap. That is murder. You know, if you get in a wreck and you hit somebody or you go up and punch a woman in the stomach, you will get charged for murder. At 22 days old, that baby has a heartbeat. If you don't want to do that, use a friggin' condom
Be responsible.
or get the morning after pill. They talk about rape and stuff. You know, hey, I get that, and I do think a woman's body is her own body, but when you have another child in there, it's just like having them in your car and you're driving down the road. If that child's sitting in your car, is it okay for you to just turn your vehicle into another one and let that kid's life get killed? No, it's not your body at that point. It is another body. If that thing's got a brain and a heartbeat, it is alive. And especially now they've gone so freaking far left and so far up their own asses, they think it's all right to take a baby that comes out of the freaking womb and go ahead and murder it right there. That is cold-blooded murder. And Planned Parenthood is one of the worst ones. They should not get the freaking funding. Now, I know there's things where, you know, I watched a mentally handicapped kid last night on TV, and I've seen him before, and he has Down syndrome. And this kid got on there, and it choked me up because he started saying, do you have the right to kill me because you think I'm messed up? I'm not messed up. I may be a little, what do you say, I may be mentally challenged or mentally handicapped. And this kid had full-blown Downs. And he said, I am a human. I am a man. I am a human being. I should not be killed. And I'll tell you what, I just ran into at the Walmart the other day and at the air show
Yes.
to a group of young people that have Down syndrome. And they're actually going to be in here in a couple of weeks because they're getting ready to go to the Special Olympics again. These are the most precious souls and angels you will ever meet in your entire freaking life. And for people with Down to be put down, that is a load of crap. When you guys and gals see these kids when they're in the studio, if you don't think they're the sweetest people on this earth, I'll buy you a freaking steak dinner. If you think these kids should be aborted at birth, I'll give you $100 freaking dollars. And then I'll slap the hell out of you for being stupid. And yeah, Jolene makes an excellent point. There's so many that can't have kids that want them, and give them to someone who will love and take care of them. I've had 4 adopted kids, not to mention all the kids that call me dad. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's 20 or 30 of those that come to my house all the time. There are plenty of people that will adopt them. I adopted 4. And yeah, they're a pain in my butt. And then Miss Helen the other night kind of freaked out when I said, yeah, if I could go back, I'd be gay. None of them would be born. I was joking for you that were listening to that. That was a joke. I love my kids. You can ask anybody. They are the love of my life. But to take and murder a child when it comes out of the womb and it's laying there on the table and they resuscitate it only to kill it again,
How is that even humane?
that is murder. That's a baby outside of the womb now. And to even take it to the point of the 3rd trimester where that kid is inside and you can feel it kick. Oh, my ex-wife, when my kids were in her stomach, I could see that baby's. I could see my daughter's knee come up and her elbow. It kind of freaked me out. It will ruin a sexual relationship with your wife. Ladies, don't take that personal. But when a guy's up there and he looks down and he sees an arm move out of there, it's like, alien, I'm backing off. But it is the most precious thing you'll ever see in your life. And then when that baby's born, hello, Hannah. I was just talking about Hannah tonight. I got him. If you'll let me know where you're going to be at, Hannah, I will make sure you get a breakfast burrito. I heard about that. I'll get into that for another story. Hannah's a beautiful young lady.
She is.
She could be a model.
She is.
But anyways, back on this abortion thing. It is wrong. It is so wrong. And I'm surprised that, yes, I believe in the Bible. I don't go around, and you guys know I have a potty mouth. I don't go around preaching. I don't go to church all the time. But I would venture to say if God had to go up to, if he had to ask me to go to Capitol Hill and find one righteous person and he would save our states and our United States, I have a feeling he'd have to bomb this with fire and brimstone, because it has gotten that freaking bad lately. Okay. What else? Oh, we got kicked off. Should we get kicked off on the radio or Facebook?
No, we just got the Facebook stream just got wonky.
Okay. I thought they might have kicked me off of Facebook.
No, we just lost internet signal.
Yeah, we're still good.
You're good.
We're back, y'all.
Okay. Hello, we're back. Anyways, this whole abortion thing is just, it's making me mental lately. I sit there and watched it last night, and I could not believe my ears or eyes. And the other thing, too, is this whole wall thing. The Democrats and some Republicans, both sides, I'm an independent. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. I call it like I see it. Oh, Jolie said Facebook keeps glitching.
Yeah.
They're
just
probably
responding to
looking
what
for
just
me.
happened a few seconds ago.
Yeah, I always say before I close out, we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. The creek don't rise and government don't get me first, or Facebook don't shut me down. This whole thing with the border, I talked to a Border Patrol guy today, and he was telling me about all the human trafficking going on. I saw on CNN where they were saying, well, they don't put duct tape across their mouths and they don't tie their hands up. Bull crap. I talked to this guy today, and he is in, I don't know if I should say the name of it. Anyways, his name is Randy. And Randy is on a special group that goes around and checks for child trafficking. And he said it's unbelievable. 14,000 kids in the last 6 or 7 months that they have found. And they're taking these 5 and 6 year old kids and these perverts that are in the United States. What he was telling me is, and this is what he does for a living, that they take these kids that are 13 or from 13 on down. Some of them are 16, but they bring them over, they doll them up, they take good care of them down in Guatemala, Mexico, Venezuela, all over the place. They bring them through Russia, all kinds of places. They bring them up through the border, and then they bring them across where there's not any secured fencing or anything like that. And I'm sorry, but a drone is not going to keep people's feet from stepping foot on this continent. And he was telling me about this 5 and 6 year old kids that they're using as sex for videos. And they're turning them into little porn stars. And there's some sick son of a bitches out there that will sit there and watch this crap and think it's okay. And they just had a big ring that was busted up in New York where they found 20-something of these little kids that these people are all, up there having sex with them. And they're making videotapes with them. That is so freaking wrong. It's unreal. And these people should be shot, castrated. I take and hang them. I don't care what you do. Take them in and throw. Here's a good idea. Take and throw them in a black neighborhood and put a KKK outfit on them with a sign that says the N word on it. I hate all it, and then throw them back there. We'll say should be on fingers crossed. Okay. Oh, that was a reply to Jolie. But, that's some sick people, and that stuff does go on, and it does happen. If you don't think it does, quit watching these fake-ass news places and thinking that stuff like this doesn't happen. One of the biggest fentanyl bust ever was said, what did they say, 100 million people it would have killed?
It could have killed over 100 million people. There was like 120, I can't remember what it was. But
Kilos?
It would have killed, kilos or something like that. But every dose, they said it amounted out to over 100 million people. And that was what they just found.
Yeah, and down in Miami, they had a huge cocaine bust. Now, this wasn't it's not stuff you're going to see on the regular news. You might catch it once in a while. But if you want to sign up for these places, go on and do the research yourself. Go sign up for the Coast Guard's thing where they'll send you feeds on what's happening. On the FWC, go up and sign on the Border Patrol stuff if you want to see what it's really like. But quit listening to these fake-ass news places telling you, oh, it's not a crisis. It is a crisis. One group that's already coming up has already made it to 20,000. Now, one of the guys that I talked to down at the border, there was 20-something Russian soldiers that they busted, 20-something Cuban soldiers. They have soldiers, ISIS, and everything else. These are the ones they've just caught, and they're not coming through where there's secured walls. They go up and they go across the desert. They bring water with them. They snack. They whatever, and they just walk right in the United States. During 9/11, a lot of you people are too young to remember that, but there was only a handful of people that brought this country to their knees. Some of you are saying there shouldn't be a wall. Okay, take down all the walls then, and then see what happens. It's just like a freaking zoo, like I said the other night. It's just like a zoo. Yeah, there's cute little Bambi in the zoo. There's the koala bears and stuff, but there's also the lions, the tigers, and the bears. There are right ways to do this crap. You get them vetted. Get them come in. Make sure they don't have MS-13 things on them. These MS-13 gang members, and a lot of you people don't know what this is. MS-13 is a gang of ruthless thugs. They should be burned in hell. Yes, I said they should be burned in hell. They raped 6 of them, just raped a little 8-year-old girl up in New York and in Chicago. And that's how they get their status. And if they kill somebody, they get a higher status. But to think these gangs don't exist and that we won't have them here in Florida, they have went from where they came across the border in California. Now they have big groups up in Alaska. They have them all over the United States. How much longer before you think they walk into here? If they don't stop it down there, we won't stop it by the time they get here. And it's not just that. It's the measles, the mumps, the head lice, the bed bugs, polio, all these different things that they bring across the border. If they don't stop it, and it is an epidemic, and President Trump is right, there does need to be a secure wall or secure fence. It works on zoos. If it didn't work, they wouldn't put walls around prisons. If it didn't work, all these Congress people, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the Republicans, they wouldn't have big walls built around their properties to keep people out. If you think it's safe in the United States, try not locking your door at night when you go to bed. Just don't lock your door anymore. And then tell me you won't think about somebody coming in and breaking into your door. And I'm not saying illegals, I'm saying anybody coming in. But people coming into this country and living off subsidies. I talked to a man today. He has cancer. I talked to him over at lady's house I was at today. The guy has cancer. Because he's a single white guy, he has lung cancer, doesn't smoke. But because he has cancer, he cannot get Medicaid. He's been turned down for Social Security. His children are all grown and moved out. He's paid his dues. He's paid his taxes. He cannot get his medications for his cancer. And he's sitting there dying right now because of it. But yet we have people that come across the border. They come into California. You got New York. You got California. You got Ocasio-Cortez, Kamala Harris, who think that they're going to give all these people stuff that are U.S. citizens that Shane, this guy I met today, should be getting. That's a bunch of crap. When our own citizens can't get what they need to live, that's a load of crap. Our veterans. One of my friends, Ben, called me last night. There's a new program they're starting up in Jacksonville, and the mayor up there is going to donate $500,000 to build these small houses for the veterans up there. Now, if you haven't been in downtown Jacksonville, you really haven't missed anything. But if you don't think there's a crisis with our homeless and our veterans, go to Jacksonville, drive through downtown, the park right in front of the courthouse, and tell me if I'm lying, if there's not 500 homeless people out there, at least minimum of 500 people. And then go up there and ask how many are veterans and ask them to see their DD-214 forms. There is no way. In just Putnam County, we have over 4,000 homeless alone here in Putnam County. That makes me sick. I want to just piss all over myself and then go wipe my pants and throw my pants, piss pants in somebody's politicians' cars and let it stink it up. Fort Gates Ferry. I got to get on this because we're running out of time here real quick.
We have 20 minutes.
Huh?
20 minutes. That's as low as we could bring it down.
It wouldn't let us bring it down any lower.
Okay.
20 minutes.
So we still got 20 minutes.
Yes.
Cool. That'll work. That'll give me about enough time. I should have been a preacher as long-winded as I am. In Fort Gates Ferry, I know we have some pictures of it.
Give me a second.
Fort Gates Ferry was established. Actually, it was established over on the other side of the river now. It depends on which Wikipedia read or whatever it is. But I've talked to the people down there. I've been doing research. I talked to a few of our historians here. I've also got a meeting with our local historians here on the 16th. The Fort Gates Ferry was established in 1780 over on the other side of the river on the West Banks. In around 1853, they started the ferry service going across. Now, it's gone on before that, but they would bring soldiers across, and not just soldiers, but people who had to get across the rivers. It was there during the Seminole Indian Wars, all kinds of stuff. This place has so much freaking history. The barge there, or the tugboat, which was a Sharpie sailboat,
It's in 1918.
in 1918, they converted it to a tug to push the barge across the river. Now, according to what I've read and what I've found out, there's a picture of it. This is the oldest barge in Florida that's still operational. Well, it's not operational right now because during Hurricane Irma, it slammed into the county's what do you call that? Lift or loading?
Into the loading dock.
Into the loading dock.
Into the ramps.
And it put a big hole in it. So for going on 2 years now, absolutely nothing has been done to get this thing raised back up. Now, I know the county officials have been working on doing stuff, but in 1968, what was the name of the hurricane it went through?
Hurricane Gladys.
Hurricane Gladys went through, and it punctured a hole in the barge. In 10 days, 10 freaking days, they rebuilt the landing. That's the part of the wheel there that drops the landing down to the barge and raises it up. In 10 days, they got this ferry going again. Now, why is this ferry down still, right now, today, for a year and a half now?
Yes.
Going on 2 years? And it's still down. There are residents, and I've had people tell me, oh, well, it's not that important, not that many people use it. Well, crap, I got a call from Florida Backwoods. What's the name of it? Backwoods? Back Trails or something like that. And the man over there was telling me, we'll keep putting some pictures up for you guys and gals to see. The man over there was telling me that he gets over 3,000 emails a year. Now, according to some of the officials here, they say that not enough people use it. But that's just 3,000 there. Now, I've got Mr. Jones getting me the actual numbers on how many people use this thing. I used to use it a couple times a week. You know, when I go over to Ocala, especially during the summer times, because my kids would like to go to Salt Springs, and this is a shortcut, so it doesn't take me 2 hours to get to Silver Glen or to Salt Springs. The thing has been, they only charge $10 now. That's per car. I mean, that doesn't matter how many people you got in a car either. It's not per person. But it's $10. That has been that way since what? Was it 1972 or something like that?
Right about there. It was actually in the
68.
60s. Actually, 68. The sign showed it was $10 also. So it's
Yeah,
been at
so
least that long.
the price has never changed. So it's efficient. Look at the signs missing up there, Gateway Fish Camp. But you drive out onto the barge, and it takes you across the river. It takes about 10 minutes. Now, Mr. Dale's in a hurry. He could probably do it. I think he said he can do it in like 8 minutes and 13 seconds. But it's not that long across the river, but it's one of the coolest things in the world. This doesn't exist all over the United States. There's only 3 or 4 functional ferries in the state of Florida right now. I know one is at Pontoon Island, one is up in Jacksonville. I think the other one, they've shut it down now. But this thing is so cool because you get to go across the water. You get to go down. It cuts through the, what's it called? The Black Bear Scenic Byway. Every time I've taken my kids over there and we drive through Ocala National Forest, We see black bears. We see deer, gopher turtles. One time we saw a panther, Florida panther. There's so much wildlife and stuff where you get your kids, get them off the freaking Xboxes, and they need to go across this barge and see other parts. But it is a quick way to get there. You don't have to go all the way up to Palaca. You don't have to go all the way. But if I lived in Palaca, I would still drive down just to go across it. Paul Newman did a commercial for a Japanese company, I believe it was Nissan, that they filmed on there. That was in 1972, I believe.
Yes. Right
Yeah,
around there.
1972. There's been famous people on this. And there's been from the Civil War, the Second Seminole Indian Wars. Imagine when the Indians were fighting and during the Second Seminole Indian War, and these guys had to, and gals had to get away from them. I don't think there was any gals fighting back then, but these guys had to get away from these Indians. That's how they used the barge. You know, just think about the Indians over there and these soldiers. Now, I would have been on the Indian side. I'd have had my bow and arrow shooting at their butts. But imagine that you had to get across the river, or that you were a farmer, or anything, or just driving an old Model T or Model A. Of course, that was before then, but you had to take your horse and buggy across there. It was once used where mules pulled it, and the guys had ropes. They pulled, as a matter of fact, the two wooden barges, cypress barges, are still there in the water. Now, they're not going to restore them. They'd be too it wouldn't be cost effective to bring them up. I wish they would, because chunks of them keep floating away every time we have a hurricane. But this is a piece of history that does not need to be lost. And from what I understand today, there was supposed to be a meeting. And when I called there, I was told there was no meeting. I'm going to find out.
a lot of closed-door meetings.
There shouldn't be any closed-door meetings. This should be something that the public should be involved in. There should not be any it's compared to, Jolene put 8 to 10 minutes compared to 2 to 3 hours is a big deal, especially when you're talking about time-sensitive situations. That's another thing. This barge has been used when Ocala caught on fire. I think it was 8-10 years ago. We had bad fires here in Georgetown. They had them over in Ocala. There was people that couldn't get out to 19. Yeah, put some of these articles right here up, Chris.
Do you want them so you can see them down there as well, or do you just want them put up?
No, just put them up on the page so that people can just see. We'll just flash through them. We don't have a whole lot of time to get into them. But there's articles been written by The Sun, by all kinds of places all over the United States about this thing. Yeah, this one right here is a great one. That picture. This is one of the pictures right here that shows the old barge that's still there today. The old tug that they still use. It was a converted sailboat. It's still used today. Well, not today because the thing's not up and running, but that boat still runs. It did not get destroyed. Mr. Dale pulled it out. But this is a great picture right here. This is originally, that's got to be from the 50s or 40s. Yeah, this is in the 40s. This is Fort Gates when they would drive up on the barge there. Those cabins are still down there. You can go rent those cabins, and they're cheap. One night is what?
With the tax, I believe it's $45 for the small cabin for a 1-bedroom, and it's I believe $55 for a 2-bedroom cabin. They're fully furnished.
Yeah, you can still go down over the cabins, and they've got some great catfishing and bass fishing, and they catch all kinds of, because it's brackish water. They catch all kinds of cool fish there. I've caught flounder down there. I've been fishing there a number of times. The catfish down there, I remember one day I was standing there, and the guy caught like a 16-pound catfish. 16-pound catfish is huge. Matter of fact, my daughter's coming up from college next week, and her and I are going to go sit down on Fort Gates dock there and fish. They have a brand new dock that's out there. This thing needs to get up and running. Let's see. It will be closed on, it's usually closed on Tuesday, but Mr. Dale, I know he's not there on Tuesdays, so don't plan on going down there and asking to fish on Tuesdays. But I think it's what, $5? It's $5, Marie, to fish?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go down there and fish off the dock for $5 for the day. So, but anyways, we're going to have to get out of here in a few minutes. And this Fort Gates thing needs to be there. I've already put that one up.
It's not coming out the right article. This is what I'm sending, and that's what it's pasting.
Huh.
keep
I don't know.
sending.
Yeah, there's old pictures of it. We're having some problems with it because we're trying to just flash this stuff up for you
The
guys.
one he's got in front of you is the one I'm sending.
Okay, there's been weddings on this barge. I mean, it's all kinds of cool stuff there. But this thing needs to be opened back up, not only to help people get across the river, but the historical significance of this thing. When you got people tearing down statues and everything, this is not about Colonel Mustard, or a racist thing or anything. This is a way of life that used to be, that still needs to be, that's still functional today. And it sucks that this thing is going to be lost. And I know what's going to happen. And mark my words, if this thing doesn't get up and running in the next 6 months, it will be gone just like a lot of other things, and it will be gone forever. This is one of the things you can take your children to, or your grandchildren, and you could take them to this thing and let them go across the river. Hell, they'll carry you across and drive you across and back. Even if you don't have a vehicle, stand on the barge, just take the ride. The stuff you will see, and as cool as all, just to be able to sit in a vehicle, or you can get out. Can't you get out when you're going across it?
You can get out of your vehicle, yes.
Yeah, you can get out of your vehicle and ride and just, and look at the water. It's cool as all get out. But it's going to be lost forever. Let's put
also we have Earl Curb and Al Carty load brush at the Gateway Ferry that was used as crappie beds in the Georgetown Fruitland area of the St. Johns River as part of the Putnam County Fishing Advisory Committee's attempt to improve fishing the river. This is in the Daytona Beach Morning Journal, December 4th, 1980, if anybody goes into that. It says that Tommy Miller piloted the tugboat used to push the barge. Workers Elvin Hughes, Earl Kerp, Dick Van Trump, Al Curdy, Kenny Walker, and Jim Olive placed one bundle at the piling or old bundle dock at the northeast corner of Lake George. One was placed in the middle set of pilings at the south end of Drayton Island. A third was built around piling on the northwest corner of Drayton Island. A fourth was built around piling at Norwalk Point and Little Lake George. All of the fish attractors are marked with a large orange block of styrofoam with the words Putnam County Fish Structure.
Yeah, back in the day, they used this, and I remember the story. I remember reading it a few years ago. They bundle up big piles of brush, and they went and sank them in Lake George and all over the St. Johns River, so that there would be habitats for fishing for future generations. And it's worked. I mean, those fishing places are still there. You can still see the orange blocks that are there. Those are great places that because of that barge, when there's been airplane crashes, and what I was saying before about the fires. When we were jumping around looking at this stuff, when Ocala caught on fire over there, people that lived on this side of the river couldn't make it out to 19. Mr. Dale took his barge over there, and he took over firefighters, the volunteers from Georgetown and from Walaka and Satsuma and all over the place, and he took them over on the barge so that they could fight the fires on this side of it. And then they rescued people and pulled them back across this side of the river so that they didn't get cooked, burned alive. They didn't look like the little guy in Beetlejuice, smoking a cigarette. They didn't wind up like that. They didn't wind up like charcoal, all because of the ferry. When the plane crashes went down, they've used this barge to go out, and it's saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars what this thing has done for the county over the years, just by pulling the wreckage up, from a plane crash. If that thing would have sat in there for a long time, the fuel would have contaminated the waterway, and it would have destroyed the estuaries that were all over the place. But because Dale was that quick there with the FWC and the Sheriff's Department, they were able to get out there and get the plane pulled up and get it back to land so it wasn't contaminating the waterways. That we need to save this thing. I've got some other stuff I'm going to be doing on this here in the coming weeks. And I'm trying to get a hold of some county commissioners to find out what the heck's going on, getting a hold of, I've got historians involved now. I've got the Department of Navy, the Army, the U.S. Army. They're listing it as a historical site. The Navy didn't even know about it. Do you believe that?
I know, right?
And all these places that don't know about it, and it is a historical landmark. It is a piece of our history. If we have that here in Clinton County, that's one more reason for tourists to come here and check it out. I will give them free advertisement on the radio show and on the Putman Way, just to get tourists to come here and just see this. It does not need to be lost. They could use it for an educational thing. And I talked to Mr. Dale. He said he'd be glad to have classrooms come down there and talk to them about, the barge and show them the old barges that were there. Let them walk out on the barge and see it. It is a piece of history. And you could tell them stories about the Civil War and stuff and the Seminole Indian Wars and how this thing is used with donkeys and stuff to carry people back and forth. We don't need to lose this. I'm going to get off that because I'm starting to get pissed off. The Rebuild Florida, Miss Helen will be on here on Monday night at, I believe, 7 o'clock. We're going to start. And we'll probably we're going to carry the show on Monday night until everybody's questions are answered, or at least 99% of them, as long as they're not stupid. Remember to, when you see your volunteer firefighters and stuff, I was talking about that with the Fort Gates Ferry and how they've gone over and saved people. I was looking at some firefighters and some pictures of them that were up north, and some of the volunteers that are up there. Their faces are frozen, their skin's falling, freezing off. These guys and gals, whether it's in Florida, and it's been cold here lately. I saw our firefighters out the other night at wrecks and stuff. These guys and gals get paid $4 a call. Make sure you support your local fire departments. Your volunteer fire departments especially. Support these guys and gals. When you see them out, thank them for their service. Keep them in your prayers. Just like officers of the law, their spouses never know if they're going to die when they come, when they go out. If they're going to come back, they could get hit by some idiot that's driving down the road that'll plow them over while they're trying to save our lives. Going into houses. I've been out where there's ammunition that goes off when they go in houses that are on fire. There's propane tanks. There's all kinds of stuff. Support your local volunteer firefighters. And also, if you see a cop, thank that officer for his time and his service. And with our veterans especially. Our veterans are the reason that we have the freedom for me to get on here and bitch and for you to be able to listen. Or for you to be able to go out and do whatever you want and make as much money as you want. Or make as little as you want. But we have those freedoms because of our veterans. When you see a young man in his fatigue in a store, walk up and thank him for his service. When you see a veteran with his hat on and it says, I'm a Vietnam veteran or a retired veteran or whatever it is, or you see that sticker on his car, walk up and shake their hand and thank them for their service to this country. It's the right thing to frickin' do. And if you support this baby killing stuff that's going on right now, go get some psychological help. Because once that baby comes out, or even in the third trimester or whatever, that is still a human life. That is called murder. Pull your head out of your ass and tell your husband I said thank you for his service. Jessica, he's a veteran, and they listen to the show. To all of our veterans out there, thank you so much. To our volunteer firefighters, our police departments, all of our first responders, thank you guys and gals for everything that you do. We love you guys. She said her brother's a recruiter. Oh, that's cool. Whole family of them.
Well,
That's
we
my
thank him,
family.
but I'm
That's
sure
all
some
in the
of
service.
recruits don't.
Huh?
My husband was a recruiter. He said that, he loved being a recruiter, but he said it's the same as when he went in. He said if he could have gone back, he'd have shot his recruiter because.
Oh, there was a note that the
but God bless
DCF
y'all. Thank you for your service.
DCF sent me a note too that said to make sure that don't spend your food stamps foolishly or your EBTs or Eat Better Today cards. Everybody that got their food stamps for February, you will not get any in February. Nobody on EBT program will get food stamps in February. If you run out during February, you will only be screwing yourself. Don't let your kids go out and buy sodas and candy with them. Reserve your money. They will pick up again and resume in March, and none of their cash assistance was cut off. So, anyhow, I got to get out of here in about 30 seconds. We love you guys. Remember to listen Monday night. You can check us out on IITW Radio, Indigo Tango Whiskey. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. And thank you, Tammy, for always taking care of us on the Putman Way and putting up all the news. Yeah, Tammy does a kick-ass job. Thank you guys and gals for listening. Monday night, I'll be giving away a bunch of T-shirts and CDs and stuff, and I have some more to give away Monday night on from River City Veterinarian and Resort Hospital. These are cool-looking shirts. I'll be giving away a few of these. Whoop, that's the back. On Monday night. And what was her name over there? They gave us these to give away. Dr.
Lee?
Yeah, Dr. Lee.
That's not a she. That's a he.
I mean he. Okay, I got to get
Gonna
out of
get you
here.
for that one.
Now I'm all confused. We'll see you guys back here Monday night. And remember, Miss Helen will be in here talking about these free programs for Putnam County. You guys make sure you listen and pass the word on. We love you. I'm out. Later. And closing out tonight, make sure you check out the ads. But this is Kurt Fort Meyer was Struggling with My Demons is closing out the show. Snuggling with my demons, that's what I said.
Came to call, I firmly stood my ground. Till one day I said, screw it all, and I turned my life around. Yeah, I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Now everything that's bad for me becomes my comfort food, and from time to time I take a pill to elevate my mood. I'm coveting my neighbor's ass and things that I can't have. I bathe myself in misery like it's medicated sad. Since I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. I've still got a lot to learn from my own mistakes. I told my better angels they could go piss up a rope, not come back unless they brought a sack of killer dope. I'm smoking packs of cigarettes and drinking quarts of beer, snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. Yeah, I'm snuggling with my demons, and I kinda like it here. It's a real nice place. I kinda like it here. I don't care what Mama said. Intervention? What are you talking about? Hey, are you going near the refrigerator?